Hey YouTube, David here. I just gonna make a video. I feel like the Father's been telling me to do it for a couple days. Um, and I actually made one last night. Well, I was working on one last night, but my website's down right now, so I've got a hold of the people that run it to get it up running. And I kind of like didn't really want to make a video without being able to promote the website because that's where y'all can get the books. And yes, I know you, the website's where you can download the manuscripts for free. I know the books are for sale on Amazon. The ninth book's not done yet. But I still feel like Father's telling me I need to wait on telling you what the name of the ninth book is yet. Uh, but main reason I wanted to do this video, I think he's telling me to do this video because I've picked up a few subscribers. I've got a lot more views now, and I know there's a lot of naysayers out here. A lot of y'all don't believe I am who I am. You're all going to get ready to find out. Uh, the other night, when 2 or 3 nights ago, I seen something come across my phone. And I've been looking for it again. I can't find it anywhere. But they're saying something about 4 countries are getting ready to do something to the United States where the United States is going to lose all electronic components. And they said this is going to happen within the next 90 days. I've been looking all over for it, and I've been talking to the Father about it. It's kind of like thinking, Father, did you just have me see that? Because I I'm going to the Philippines. I'm going back to the Philippines here in November, but there's been I've been going through some difficult times and have been thinking. I got to watch my time here because I'm doing my laundry, and yes, I'm drinking my coffee because I'm going to drive another 5 hours tonight. But anyway, uh, I lost my train of thought because I've been contacted here by. Uh, Back in a minute. I don't remember exactly where I was at, but I know I'm making this video because there's a possibility if that happens, the website will not be available in the United States anymore. Uh, I don't know. It's some letter before EMP. But they're talking within the next 6 months. Now, if you read the eighth book, there is a timeline and a prediction that I do make uh, that is soon to come, and it all kind of falls right into the timeline. So, but the main reason I wanted to do this video tonight is I wanted to find out if you all can hear the trumpet sounding. This talks about this in 1 Corinthians 15:52. I'll go ahead and show that real quick. It's this one right here. In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Now, I know a lot of people believe in this false teaching of the rapture, and I guess maybe since I did that did the revealing, I've listened to the show again, and I realized I missed that question, but I I forgot that question. It wasn't a question. One guy come at me and said, "You're not Jesus. There is a rapture because the carcass, when he's talking about in Matthew 24, the carcass shall be there." He's right. The carcass shall be there. Uh, the body, the flesh. The only way anybody is leaving here, leaving hell. This is hell. Okay, and I could show all that. Okay, but the only way anybody's leaving hell is they have to die first. Okay, and if you still think there's a rapture, I ask you to go to Ezekiel 3:13, and I ask you to read Ezekiel 13. And if I would have remembered that night about him saying that, I would have brought this to his attention. Okay, but he was saying the carcass, there shall the carcass be. The carcass is the flesh. the human body has to die before the spirit goes back up to the heavens. Okay, we it's the spirit. It's inside of us that keeps the blood pumping, keeps us breathing oxygen. It's the spirit that that's that piece of God Himself that He breathed into us in the very beginning. That's what keeps our heart pumping without a battery. All we need is food and water to keep it recharged and sleep. Okay? We have to die before the spirit goes. So if you think you're going to get raptured, read Ezekiel 13 and listen to what the Father will do to those that think that to teach people they're going to fly away. Yes, in Psalm 90, when we live 70 to 80 years, it says, then we die, then we fly away. That's the spirit that flies away after 70, 80 years, because the God said the covenant's good for 1,000 generations or 1,000 lives. Then we live 70 to 80 years, some live longer, then we die. Then our spirit goes back up. We're judged for what we've done. Hebrews 9:27. It says that when man dies and then he's judged. He's judged. That's right. You're judged as soon as when you die for how you love God in this world with all your heart, soul, and mind, and how you done loving your neighbor as yourself. And your neighbor is anyone that you see. Then you're brought back down into hell, and you have to be done unto, Matthew 7:12, do unto other men as you would have other men do unto you. This is the law and the prophets. Okay, I got to pause this. My laundry's done. I'll be back. All right. I'm back. Well, at least got the clothes in the dryer. Uh, he's talking about about Ezekiel 13 and talking to the Father. He's like, as I was going in, and he says, no, you go ahead and show him in the Bible. I'm going to show you two spots that if you actually believe in the rapture, and I could show you several more, but this video is about whether or not you can hear the trumpet sounding, and I want to show some things of why you should be hearing the trumpet sound. And I guess after I get done explaining this thing on the showing the rapture is no good, I need to explain why Trump is the last Trump, and I explain this in the books. Okay, and I know I got other videos out here too. But anyway, let's go to Ezekiel 13, and we're going to read 17 through 23. Likewise, thou son of man, set thy face against the daughters of thy people, which prophesy out of their own heart, and prophesy thou against them, and say, Thus saith the Lord God, Woe to the women that sew pillows to the armholes, and make kerchiefs upon the head of every statue to hunt souls. Will ye hunt the souls of my people, and will ye save the souls alive that come unto you? And will ye pollute me among my people for handfuls of barley and for pieces of bread, to slay the souls that should not die, and save the souls that alive that should not live? By your lying to my people that hear your lies. Wherefore thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against your pillows, wherewith ye there hunt the souls to make them fly, and I will tear them from your arms, and let the souls go, even the souls that ye hunt to make them fly. Your kerchiefs also will I tear, and deliver my people out of your hand, and they shall be no more in your hand to be hunted, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Because with lies ye have made the heart of the righteous sad, whom I have not made sad, and strengthened the hands of the wicked, that he should not return from his wicked way, by promising him life. Therefore ye shall see no more vanity, nor divine divinations. For I will deliver my people out of your hand, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. Okay, now that's one thing. Now, when the Father's talking about that, what he's talking about, all these people that's going around here telling everybody they're going to get raptured. And I know this is completely off topic, but this has to do with everything in 1 Corinthians 15:52. Okay? But all these people going around here telling everybody they're going to get raptured, what are they doing to someone that might be a righteous person? They're going around and they're telling everybody, God loves me more than you. God thinks I'm better than you. God thinks I deserve better treatment than you because he's going to take me away. I don't have to go through his wrath, but you got to stay here and suffer through it. And what if this is actually a righteous person and you get this righteous person to believe in this? You break their hearts. They're like, why, Father? Why am I not doing? I mean, you're putting them down. We're here to love our neighbor as ourselves. James 2, we're all equal. There's none of us better than anyone else. So why do we go around? Why do some people go around thinking, telling everybody, oh, God loves me more than he loves you? No, he loves us all equally. Everybody has their part or role to fulfill. He breathed life into them just the same as he did you. There's no difference. We're all equal in his eyes. We all transgressed his law, but we all have a chance to learn and get to understand who he is, what he's doing, why he's doing what he's doing. Now, I want to show you one other spot. Now, this one here will most likely offend a lot of people because we're going to listen to Matthew 13, and we're going to go down here verse 24 through 30, and we're going to listen to the tares growing with the harvest. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From where? From whence then hath it tares? He said unto them, An enemy hath done this. The servants said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let them both grow until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, Gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat in my barn. The first ones out are going to be cast into the fire. What's all these people doing going around about the rapture? I'm going to be out of here first. Well, if you don't believe in the rapture and anybody comes up to you and tells you they're going to get raptured, just take them to this Matthew 13 right here. Right here. The first ones out will be bound up and burnt first before the harvest is gathered. The evildoers are going first. Though, if you believe in the rapture, you think you're first out. You just learned what's going to happen to you. You're going to burn. You learned in Ezekiel 13. Your arms are going to be ripped off. You're going to fall because you are being so mean to God's other children. He loves us all equally. He's chose me to do this, but I don't think he loves me. I know he doesn't love me any more than he loves anyone else. He doesn't show me favoritism, and he does not show me uh, I don't even think I can't even. I'm brain farting because I'm wanting to get focused on the last trumpet. But I have a genuine fear of him. Okay, that fear is mandatory, and all these people that think they're going to get raptured have no fear of me. And I could take you to 30 to 50 spots in the Bible where it actually tells you we must fear God first. Fearing God is mandatory. If you don't fear God, you have no chance. It's it's I don't remember if that was one of the videos I did, and I think I might have deleted that one because I said some pretty harsh things in it that I shouldn't be saying on this channel. Uh, but that was when I was going through my telling the Father I'm not going to the Philippines, and that's what I was talking about. Now going back to that video, you know, because I know I got to go back to the Philippines. And the Philippines is where I got to walk on water. That's where I got to calm the waves. I got to do the island hopping. I call it island hopping. Getting on one boat, getting on a boat, going from one piece of land to the other. Can't do that here in the United States. That's why I'm going back to the Philippines. Now, I don't know if I'm staying over there this time. Um, I won't know until I get there. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about tonight was if, well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do this first. I'm going to go ahead and show John 4, verses 23 and 24. John 4. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. Everything about the Bible is spiritual. Psalm 119, 142, truth is law, is the law. Okay? Now we're going to go up here to Acts 13:41. We're going to just showing you Acts 13. We're going down to verse 41. Behold, ye despisers, and wonder and perish. For I work a work in your days, a work which ye shall in no wise believe, though a man declare unto you. You know, I'm going to pause right here. I've been trying to get myself to do this at the beginning of the videos. I want you to share. I want you to like for the algorithm of YouTube, whatever, to get the videos out. We got some really hard times coming, whether you all like it or not. We got some extremely hard times. So share these videos. Share. I know I can't show you my website tonight. I can actually show you what I'm getting when I go to it, davidofpsalm89.com. This is what I'm getting right now. Now, the UR link, they're the ones that run it. They've got problems with their server or something. I don't know what it is, but I cannot take you to my website. If I hit the refresh button, it's just going to pop this back up again. They're working on it. They'll get it back up in a couple days. But that's where you can download all the books for free. So anyway, back to where we was. Says the same thing in Habakkuk 1:5. Behold ye among the heathen and regard, and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you. I'm telling you all this. I show you all this in the books. Okay? I give you all an understanding of what's going on, who our Father is, what he's doing, why he's doing what he's doing. And nobody that does not have an understanding, I think more or less has to come into somewhat an agreement with him. Because if you continue going on just doing everything your own way, thinking you're doing right, you're doing it wrong. I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you that right now, because there's just way too many things that people just, anyway. All right, now, what we was going to talk about tonight. Let's see, what I want to show you. I already showed you that parable. Now, I want to just go to my YouTube channel. And yes, I've been looking into stuff because I'm going to the Philippines. And so I'm learning a foreign language, trying to force myself to, not trying to force myself. I'm spending a few hours a day working on the foreign language. Anyway, all right, now, what was that? What I was going to show? Here we go, right here. Okay, Israel is Trump. I was going to explain how Trump is the last Trump. This is the last time he can be in office, according to our Constitution. They can only have 2 terms. If he can be elected 2 terms, I think there's a catch-all where they can actually go like 12 or 13 years. You know, it's like I think there's something like if I remember way back when I used to look into that stuff, I don't pay attention to it anymore, but I think there's something in the Constitution, say like if he was president or vice president and the president actually passed away and he had to take over, finish out the actual first president, I think he could still be elected 2 more terms. I think so he could be, but that scenario's already gone and passed. This is the last time President Trump can be in office. This is the last time he can be the president. Okay? And that's what makes him the last Trump. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you. I'll go back to that 1 Corinthians 15:52. Okay, I got to back up. in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Okay, now, and I know that a lot of people think in this rapture because it says in a twinkling of an eye, in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. But then notice how it says, the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. All right, now go down just a few more verses. Go down to verse, well, the next two verses. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Death. Okay, this is the death. That's when we got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. When everybody got kicked out of the Garden of Eden in the beginning of the Bible. Okay, that's the death. That's the first death right there. That's the first death. We go to the book of Revelation. That's the death we have to overcome. Once we overcome the first death, the second death has no power over us. Okay, I'm back in the Garden of Eden. Okay, I've overcome this first death. That's what these books do. They allow you all to do this. But see, what in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, what is changed? The way we think. The way we think. Okay? A few weeks ago I was talking to a friend, and the father had me think of a really good scenario. Uh now this is going to be a hypothetical, but I'm going to show you what's going to change in the twinkling of an eye. In a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. I'm going to show you what's going to change. All right. Well, hypothetically, let's say you and I are walking in the woods. We're thirsty. We see a mountain river. We're on a mountain. We're up by a mountain. I love mountain rivers, okay? And remember, this is hypothetical, but you and I are walking through the woods. We're both thirsty. We don't have any water on us, but we see a mountain river up in front of us, which, is clean, good, clean water. Uh, I'll drink mountain water all day long before I'll drink fountain water. But we see it about a half mile, 3/4 mile up. We see this river up in front of us. So we're walking toward this river. We're going to go get us some water. And as we get closer, we notice a family of grizzly bears there. We're going to change in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. We are going to decide we're not going there. 99% chance we're not even going to that river. We're going to go find some other water source. Our thought process is going to change. That's what's going to change in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. Oh my gosh, I can't do this. I can't keep doing things the way I'm doing it. And what that's going to be is when you start seeing millions upon millions, if not billions, people die. You're going to change the way you think. You're going to pick these books up. You're going to start reading them or listening to them. Once the website will be up in a few days. I don't know how long it'll take them to get it up and running, but they're working on it. Okay? But that's what's going to change. It's your thought pattern. If you're one that's still alive, if you haven't been taken out first, you will be reading his books if you're not already. Yes, I've been revealed now. You know, I didn't even plug the YouTube channel, and I picked up a bunch of subscribers and got a lot of views on it. So, I don't know how many people has gone to the website and how many people's actually downloaded the books. I don't know how many people, if anybody's been buying the books, because you got that option too. And I know not everybody's going to want to download the books. You know, uh, there's a lot of people that'll probably want to buy them. I don't know. They're available that way because that's why I sell them. Anyway, now go back to my YouTube channel. This just things I've been looking at, and I want to talk about some of the things about and you have to excuse my commentary because I'm going to say it as I think of it. Trump is hilarious. I mean, the man changes his mind just about as many times as I go to the bathroom every day. And I drink coffee all day long, every day. I mean, this guy is just like, one day it's one thing, and the next day it's another thing, and then 2 days later he goes back to the original. You know, it's like y'all wanted Biden out of the office because he was too old and he wasn't grasping things correctly. I don't really see much of a difference in Trump. My opinion. Why would we put someone that old in the office anyway? But this has to be done because he is the last Trump. The trumpet is sounding. Okay, now I want to go back to this where it's Israel, the ceasefire. He did this. He's going around saying he's caused ceasefires in 7 or 8 countries. What is he talking about? I mean, half of these countries we didn't even know anything was going on, and I try to keep up on current events. Okay. Now this thing in Israel, he went over there and did this. Oh, what is going to do the ceasefire? Okay, yes, they got the hostages released from Hamas, but at the same time, Israel has attacked uh, Gaza a few other times. They've killed over 50 people since the ceasefire. I haven't been listening too much lately on it because I've been trying to pay attention to what's going on in Russia. But they've killed over 50 to 75 people since the ceasefire. I guess one of their tanks ran over one of their unexploded missile or bombs that they had. There was a bulldozer that ran over an unexploded artillery shell that of Israel's, and it blew up. And Israel tried to use that as an excuse to attack Hamas again. Part of the agreement is that Hamas has to dearm. They're not going to dearm. Why would they do it? They want them to completely dearm. I mean, when I first heard that, it's like that would they want them to completely dearm. They want them to destroy the tunnels. You know, why don't you just put them in I'm a truck driver, so I relate a lot of things to truck driving, but I see these cattle trucks all over here, out here, all the time, pulling livestock. Where are they going? They're going to a slaughterhouse. They're going to be run down a chute, and they're going to be, someone's going to put a bullet in their head, or whatever, however they kill them. Then they're going to be skinned and sliced up all to pieces. We're going to be eating them in a few weeks. I know that's not a pretty picture to paint, but with them wanting Hamas to dearm and to destroy the tunnels, it's pretty much the same thing. Why don't you just line them up in a chute and just slaughter them as they come down the line? They're not going to dearm like that. They're not going to destroy their tunnels. They're not going to give up their life because that's what Israel is doing. Now, in this whole time this war's been going on between Israel and Hamas, I don't think it's really been between Israel and Hamas. It's been more against Israel against innocent Palestinians. There have been more women and children killed than there have been militants killed in this war. Israel don't care. Israel don't care. And apparently the United States doesn't either. Because we've been giving them all this stuff. Now, I guess when this bulldozer ran over this unexploded artillery shell of some sort, I guess the Trump administration stepped in and said, no, you cannot do this. This was not Hamas retaliating. Hamas, from what I've been understanding, has not been trying to break the ceasefire, but Israel has broken it 4 or 5 times. You can guarantee that war is going to break out again, and along with Iran. Okay, and there's a couple other countries, Lebanon and so forth, that Israel's been bombing. I mean, there's no ceasefire there. Trump did this all for a show. It's like he wants to say I did it without actually doing the work, doing the groundwork to be able to lay things out. You can't just write up a few things, go over there and say, okay, you're going to do whatever I want you to do, and it's going to be done and it's going to be good. That's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. It's just like this. Now we're going to switch over to Russia. Okay, so And that's where I'm going to go back to my YouTube channel. Okay. Trump comes out here and Putin won't do, and I'm going to go and make my remarks right now. Vladimir Putin is a very smart man. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to keep his emotions in check, even though he's had more than ample times to speaking of fly, to take it to the very next level. Take this war up to a couple extra levels. I mean, he's pretty well fighting the United States. He's fighting Ukraine. He's fighting the much of these EU countries. I mean, it's like everybody's trying to do everything against Russia. And Russia, in my opinion, they're not doing anything wrong. I mean, yes, war's ugly, war's nasty. Okay, but all he's trying to do is protect his borders. I mean, you're listening to your mainstream news and they're telling you, oh, Russia's doing so bad. You know, they're pathetic. They don't know. Oh my gosh. Ukraine is losing this war big time. When you actually start listening to this stuff, Ukraine, the EU, and all them guys, they're just pumping a bunch of rhetoric because they want everybody to think Russia's incompetent. Russia is not incompetent. Russia seems to know what they're doing very well. Okay. Uh, but, Trump had this meeting with Vladimir Putin in Russia and got nothing accomplished. Vladimir Putin told him, we're going to set out to do what we're going to do. And they're right. I mean, the way EU and the United States and everybody's trying to do is they're trying to set it up to where they can pretty much set up their missile bases, everything right along the borders of Russia. Now, if that was allowed to happen, well, then Russia should be. We shouldn't have any problem with Russia coming up and setting, every 100 miles all the way along the border between Canada and the United States, 100 miles into Canada, they should be able to set up missile silos all the way up through there. Same thing down there in Mexico, 100 miles away from the border, they should be able to set up their missile silos down there every 100 miles. But we're not, that's what he's trying to prevent. He's trying to prevent the EU and the United States from doing that to him and his people. Rightfully so. You listen to the mainstream news, so no, he's such a barbaric man. No, the United States are the barbarians. Oh my gosh! Now we're trying to start a war with Venezuela. Oh, because they're the, and I'm not going to show it where I listened to this the other day, but they're saying they're trying to prevent the drugs from coming in. They're blowing up fishermen boats without looking to see if they have drugs, without knowing for sure if they have drugs, and without detaining these people, without questioning these people. They're just blowing them out of the water. Now I guess this weekend it sounds like they might be going into Venezuela to prevent the drug problems that Venezuela is causing in the United States. Okay, now I didn't do my research on it, and this is just what I heard on one of the videos I was listening to the other day. But the Venezuela is on the 20th. They're number 20 on the list of countries causing drug problems in the United States. Number one would be the most dangerous. Number 2, 3, 4. They're all the way down on 20. But why are we going after 20? Why are we going after the 20th worst threat on drugs to the United States, not the first 5, first 10? Is it because they want their oil and their gold and stuff that Venezuela has because they're rich in that stuff? Or is it because they want to show their power? I mean, the bully picking on the little guy? That's what I see. The bully picking on the little guy. Yeah, I guess I am still recording. I didn't think I was recording there for a minute. Thought I was talking to myself, which I usually am anyway. But anyway, okay. Now, Trump didn't get when he would talk to Vladimir Putin in Alaska. He comes back, and a few weeks later, or not even maybe, I don't know how long it was. Oh, we're going to send Tomahawks over to Russia. Or not Russia, but Ukraine. And you heard the rhetoric coming out about what Russia was saying. You send the Tomahawks. They said, well, it's no problem, no big deal to them. They know how to take them down. The Tomahawks are not that great of a missile. Uh, they don't have a problem. They know how to take them down. They'll just shoot them down. But it ends all relationships with Russia and the United States. Democracy, whatever they're trying to do together, is just completely unhinged. And that rhetoric stayed in the news for a week or two until Vladimir Putin called Trump and pretty well put him in his place. You want to go down this road, this is the consequences you're going to have to deal with. Trump backs out of it for now. He's not going to get Vladimir Putin to back down. I mean, come on. We're not going to let Russia build missile silos every 100 miles along our borders in Canada and Mexico. We're not going to do it. Why should we expect them to allow us to do it? Or Ukraine, or EU, or anyone out of the what is that called there with all the countries? I can't think of it right now. Okay? But now, let's just look at some of these headlines. Now, okay. I guess it was the other day when Putin called Trump. Well, now, today, which I think is tomorrow or is already tomorrow, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where the time zone is in Russia. And I'm not going to look it up. Okay? Let me see how much. Check on my clothes, my dryer. 24 minutes. All right. Uh, yeah. But today, I guess they did. I don't know. I guess I could. I don't know if I see. I don't know if I can get in trouble for that. If I play a little bit of. Where's my history here? Uh, yeah, I watched this video earlier. This guy here, he showed where Russia sent off nuclear. Oh, actually, I did a search on this earlier. Where did I go? What did I do with that? Yes, Russia did test today. Russia conducted a missile test today. President Vladimir Putin oversaw a test of Russia's nuclear forces, which included a land-based intercontinental ballistic missile launch and a separate missile launch from a nuclear submarine in the Barents Sea. Yeah, that's a show of power. And now that video I was just showing you, this guy here sitting here talking like Russia is weak. Now, from the research that I've done, I think Russia has more missiles, nukes than we do. It's been years since I looked into what, I don't know, they got the Satan 1, Satan 2, they got the missiles that actually, the hypersonic missiles, are hypersonic ballistic missiles, whatever, that can't really be shot down. They're so fast, they can be maneuvered. Uh, and then they got these one missiles that as they're inbound, they shoot off other missiles going other places. I mean, I don't know what the U.S. got in their arsenal, but this guy was sitting here talking like Russia's weak. No, Russia's not. You know, and the restraint and the composure that Vladimir Putin and his team over there has shown since all this started and since all this rhetoric really started to hype up has shown that. I mean, listen to our president. He's jabberish on every little thing. I mean, the man has no control over his emotions whatsoever. I mean, it's it's like I don't know who he's listening to, I know everybody around him is wanting us to go to war and do whatever we can but, and I know that's going to happen. And, I listen to so many people say they don't think there's going to be a nuclear war. And I have to disagree with that. I want to take you to, or was it Zach? No, I think it's Zechariah. Chapter 12, verse 14. No. No, where was 14? Chapter 14, verse 12. I think that's what it was. Uh, right here. Yeah. Zechariah 14:12. And this shall be, now I was going to, on the coast to coast revealing that night, this is the verse I was referring to. And but I was so nervous that night, I couldn't get things gathered together, uh, the way I can present them here. Uh, because that was the first time I actually talked to, I mean, I did my the TV interview back in June or whatever it was, but that was pre-recorded, aired after I did the interview. Coast to Coast AM, that was live, and upon the searches that I did, between 2.75 million and 3 million people listen to that show every night. I was a little nervous. Anyway, Zechariah 14, 4:12. And there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongues shall consume away in their mouth. That's nuclear war. Nuclear war. As I've been showing you all, the King James Bible is not a history book. This is one of the things that will be happening. I talk about it in the seventh book. I didn't. That was the first book the Father showed me that the scriptures are the heavens. The heavens are getting ready to be shaken. Luke 21 verse. When you see Luke 21 verse. Now I got to look it up because go to Luke and I think it's 21. Yep. And this. And see, this is what you all get from reading these books or listening to them. You all get this understanding like I do. See, it's Luke 21:20. Yeah, and verse 20, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them that are which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter where thereinto, and these be the days of vengeance, that all things written may be fulfilled. Okay, see, there you go. All things written. All that stuff in the Old Testament, a lot of that stuff, mainly talked about in the book of uh, Zechariah, Isaiah, Jeremiah. Oh my gosh, it's all over in the Old Testament. And Jesus, days of Jesus, okay, me, all that's happened. A lot of this is already happening, like happened with me. The fasting for 40 days and 40 nights did that. I laid down my life March 8th. I walked out into the wilderness. I did all this. Okay, and a lot of the stuff that Jesus did has happened with me. The woman that has five husbands, that's a chapter in the fifth book and in the seventh book, because I put it in the fifth book because that actually happened in the year 2020. I met this woman. She had five husbands. We talked for 6 hours, just like it talks about in John 4, in the first half of John 4. I met this woman. I told her all the things coming. Then I only had three books when we met. And if it was a couple of weeks after when I had my free copies in my hand, when we met, I only had three copies. The fourth book was done, but I hadn't had my complimentary copies for doing the publication package. I hadn't had them. I hadn't got those yet. The night we talked, I gave her the first three books, and then A few weeks later, we met at another truck stop, unbeknownst to either one of us. And I explained this in the books, but I gave her one of the fourth books too. And I've never seen her since, and I'll never see her again. But that's the woman that has 5 husbands. I met her. That was part of the scriptures that have been fulfilled. There's been a few things that have been said here online that I have said to people, the scriptures being fulfilled, the heavens being shaken. Well, all things written. Now we got a lot of the things in the Old Testament that's getting ready to happen to us. This is the generation that will see all this before this generation passes. This generation will not pass to all be fulfilled. This is it. I'm here now. I wasn't here in the past. Okay? I didn't come here to change my Father's law and so that you could obtain his perfection, even though you don't want anything to do with his perfection. This is all real as it gets. And if this thing happens in December, I guess I shouldn't have said that, or within the next 90 days. I listened to this video a few days ago. There you go. 90 days. They said it's going to happen within the next 90 days. If this thing happens and there's no more electricity, that means no more electricities, no more stores, no more cars. All of our cars, the trucks will quit, semis will quit, grocery stores will be empty. There'll be no more TV, no more cell phones, no charging your cell phone. Well, cell phone wouldn't work anyway. All communication will be knocked out, and there'll be no, I don't know what you're going to, well, it'll be just total chaos throughout the streets. Read the Old Testament, you can actually learn where it actually says this is what's coming. Things like that will be happening. Most people look at the Bible, they think it's the Bible of the people of the past. No, it's about our lives. It's about our life. What's getting ready to happen, all those things, a lot of those things in the Old Testament, that's what's getting ready to happen to us. Whether we like it, whether we want it. See, and you go down here, but woe unto verse 23, but woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck. For those in those days that there shall be great distress in the land and wrath upon the people, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down with the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Now, we are the sea people. Now think about this. If all the electricity gets shut off, and they're saying it's going to be shut off for a year, okay? We are the sea. I show this in the book. We are the waters, the waves roaring, okay? Just imagine you're sitting here and all the power goes off and people have been without everything for 3 or 4 days and you're living in the midst of New York City. How many people is going to be rampaging through the streets? There's your waves roaring right there. That's the waves. That's what that means. This doesn't mean like the ocean because, someone that lives in Central America or Central Russia, and I'm not sure about other countries, the sea's not going to really affect them. I mean, you're going to have a 3,000-foot wave before it's going to get that far into land. I don't even know if it still make it to the middle of the United States. I don't know. People, we are the seas. We are the waters on the first day of creation that God hovered over. We are the darkness that he breathed life into. This is what I'm trying to say. Okay, there's so many people that do not understand what's getting ready to happen because you think the Bible was about the people of the past. No, it's about our lives. I start showing you in the second book, about how we have many wives or husbands. Anybody you've had consensual sex with is your wife. What is it? 2 Corinthians 3 something? I don't know. where it talks about a man can lay down when a man lays down with a harlot, they become one flesh. What's the rule for a man and a woman? They twain together, leave mother and father, and they become one flesh. How can a man lay down with a harlot and become one flesh with her? If all you have to do to be with when we're told in the beginning of beginning of the Bible, man and woman twain together, leave mother and father, become one flesh. Now think about this. There was no wedding ceremony for Adam and Eve, was there? No. Adam says, "Woman of woman of my bones, I will call her Eve." There's no wedding ceremonies. There's nowhere in the Bible that we're told to go out and make a marriage legal by going to a pastor, priest, getting a certificate, going to a judge, or any of that stuff. None of that. Just like the Father says he's married to us. He's married to us. He's been taking care of all of us, mentally, morally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. He's been taking care of all of us. But how many of us have disregarded what he does for us? Because if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be watching this video. You wouldn't have the opportunity to read the books. You wouldn't have an opportunity to even be feeding yourself if it wasn't for him and everything that he's done throughout the entire planet. He's been there for all of us. He's married to us. But that bill of divorcement, in the very first book, we talk about that. The divorce becomes final at the end of the world. The end of the world. That's what's coming upon us. I only appear once in the end of the world. Hebrews 9:26. Why not? I'm just going to do it. You know what? I'm just Hebrews 9. Out here to verse 26. For often he must suffer. For then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world. But now, once in the end of the world, hath he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. Yes, that was me going out into the wilderness back on March 8th of 2016. I was in the belly of the earth spiritually for 3 days and 3 nights, almost 30 years before this baptism on March 8th, before I laid down my life. I was in that coma for 3 days and 3 nights, March 28th, Good Friday, 1986. Almost 30 years later to a day. The Bible is about us, our lives. It's about me. You see, right there, it's just telling you. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not a book of the past. It's a book about us. It's our lives. There's no way we can get around that. There's no way we can change that. And if we don't get over that concept of thinking that where does that say? It's in Hebrews, where you must be taught again. How much time I got left on I got 8 minutes before my clothes are dry. But I guess maybe where does that say that? Be taught again. Hebrews 12, maybe? Let me just do this here. I don't know if it says the right exact words, taught again. That might be. Oh. I know it's in the book of Hebrews. How does it say that? Let's do this. Where? See? Where? I'm just showing you how I do all this stuff. I don't sit here and remember exactly where everything is said. I remember a lot of things that are said, but I don't remember exactly where the. Uh, oh, yeah. Yeah. Hebrews 5:12. So let's go back to King James because here that they won't show the King. I don't know if they're going to show the King James, and I will not teach out of anything but the King James Bible because the King James Bible, you have to learn. I have to wait. I can't wait till I talk about the ninth book. But the King James Bible, published in 1611. I was called to the Bible in 2011. Okay, there's 400 years between the Old Testament and the New Testament, or 400 years between the Old Testament time of Jesus, or 400 years from the time the King James Bible was published. until the time the Father called me to the Bible, because the Father called me to the Bible in May of 2011. 400 years later, I can't say whether to the day or not, within a week or so of it. I was going to Hebrews 5. That's what I was going to. Hebrews 5:12, I think it said. Ah, for when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. Now, the very first book that we wrote, Father, forgive us, we haven't been listening. That's the milk right there. That's the book you need to come into somewhat of an agreement with right there. And yes, that book's going to tell you to stop celebrating birthdays and holidays. That book's going to tell you to observe holy days. I don't know how much that's going to affect people. You're not going to have to go through everything that I went through because, see, that book right there was written, published. It was published April of 2015. I walked out into the wilderness, 11 months later. I walked out in the wilderness March 8th. So it was published. And I wrote it in the spring of 2015. It was published April 2015. Okay. And then I walked out in the wilderness March of 2016. I had just spent those few years living under the laws of Moses. Okay, and I could show you, oh, you know what? Well, let's do that. I don't know why I went off of that. All right, let's just go to John 5. Okay. Go down here to the end of it. Very end of it. Verse 46. For had ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if ye believe not his writings, how shall ye believe my words? Now we're just going to go to John 26. Now first I'm going to show you verse 27. Okay, labor not. Show you that right here. Labor right here. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for the meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him have God the Father sealed. See, there's this cross on my head. It's once the website's back up, if you haven't got it, there's a picture of it on the fourth book. In the fourth book, right there in the beginning, I got the cross on my forehead. I did not put there. The Father put it there. It's the only way I can explain it. Showed up in the latter part of 2014. There's a cross on my head. I am sealed. I give you all these books for free. I do not ask you to pay me. I will not. Yes, I know some people might buy them off Amazon and so forth, but if you ever meet me in person, I won't take a dime. I absolutely refuse. And if you tell me I have to take money, I'll take the book back because I will not take money for it. That's the way it goes. But anyway, now, let me see here. Now, I have to find this because I don't remember exactly which verse it's in. Right here. Verse 44. No man come to me except the Father which have sent me draw him, and I will raise him up in the last day. It is written, I just read verse 44, verse 45. It is written in the prophets, and they shall be all taught of God. Every man therefore that have heard and have learned of the Father cometh unto me. You're not going to learn of the Father if you don't believe in the Old Testament. You're not going to learn anything about it unless you read the books that the fathers had me write. There is 9 of them. There will not be no more than 9. And I know there won't be any more than 9 because I'm tired of it. I'm done. I don't want to do them anymore. If you're not going to read the first 9, why would I write a 10th? You definitely ain't going to read the 10th one. And I've been telling the Father for a long time. But since this revealing, I know it's getting real. It's I mean, I've been hearing the trumpet sound for a while. And on that note, let's see. I think it was the seventh book that was published in May 23. I told you Trump is the last Trump. At the time I wrote it, Trump wasn't even running for president the second time. He hadn't even said he was running for president. But I told you all that he was going to be running for presidency. And I said, I don't know if things were going to get harsh while he was running for office or after he got in office. I told you all he was going to be the next president because I knew he was the last Trump. At that time, I was saying it'll be the last time that he can run for presidency or it'll be the last time he's president. I didn't know. He is the last Trump. I had it wrong in the fourth book because of the COVID-19 going around, me seeing the flood, Jeremiah 46, verse 8, Egypt rises up like a flood. I seen that flood with my own two eyes. Okay, this whole world is covered with a spiritual flood, and that flood's name is Egypt. So I just had to put all this together. And at that time, I thought he was the last Trump, but I did not put it together that was not the last time he could run for office back then or be in office. This time he can be in office. This is the last time he can be in office. This is the last Trump. The trumpet is sounding. We got wars going on everywhere. Okay, my laundry's done. All right. So anyway, yeah, we'll call it good. We'll call it good. And just, I don't know, like it, put a thumbs up, share it, get the word out, share my website out, davidopsalm89.com.